Good morning. I'm Dwight Keene. I'm chair of the Kansas Corporation Commission. I'm joined this morning by fellow commissioners Susan Duffy and Commissioner Andrew French. At this time, I will call to order this meeting of the Kansas Corporation Commission on this Thursday, December 8th, 2022. Commissioners, the first matters we have before us for our consideration this morning are 9 items on the consent agenda. We've had the opportunity to review the contents of the draft orders in each of these matters. So I would turn to each of you and ask if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. And I'll begin with Commissioner Duffy.
Good morning, everyone. I have no questions or comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner French.
Good morning. No questions. I move approval of the consent agenda.
I second the motion.
Been moved and seconded. We approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. The next matter for our consideration is a discussion item. This involves a Federal Energy Regulatory Commission or FERC matter regarding Evergy Kansas Central Inc. and Southwest Power Pool tariff revision requests. This is all pursuant to FERC docket numbers ER 23-430, ER 23-431, and ER 23-433. Our presenter this morning is Carly Massentine, Senior Litigation Counsel. Good morning, Carly.
Good morning. Thank you. On November 15th, 2022, Evergy Kansas Central Inc., or EKC, and Southwest Power Pool, or SPP, filed 3 separate tariff revision requests at FERC pertaining to EKC's transmission formula rate and generation formula rate. ER 23-430 and ER 23-431 are the EKC transmission and generation formula rate requests, respectively. ER 23-433 is the SPP open access transmission tariff modification request. All 3 matters are related, but were not consolidated by FERC. And the issue germane to all 3 dockets is the calculation of EKC's capital structure under the formulas. In prior dockets, FERC determined that EKC had not provided sufficient evidence that undistributed retained earnings of Evergy Kansas South Inc. and Evergy Generating Inc. should be included in the equity component of EKC because it had not been proven that distributed subsidiary earnings from these companies were available for EKC to invest in its rate base. The current filings, according to EKC, provide that evidence that the retained earnings of Evergy Kansas South are available for EKC to invest in its rate base and thus properly included in the equity computation of its capital structure under the transmission formula rate and the generation formula rate. However, Evergy Generating's retained earnings are not available for this purpose and thus are excluded. Importantly, EKC is proposing to only change the rates on a going forward basis, starting in 2023. Whereas KCC staff believe there is no barrier to relief prior to this timeframe. While staff supports the tariff modification, it does not support cutting off relief and will be seeking relief for inappropriate inclusions in prior timeframes. Therefore, staff is asking the Commission for authority to intervene in the 3 captioned cases, submit comments, and fully participate to protect the interests of Kansas ratepayers.
Thank you very much, Carly, for that overview. At this time, I would move the Commission authorize our DC Council to file for intervention in docket numbers ER 23-430, 431, and 433, and fully participate in the matter by filing comments, testimony, protests, and any other filings as necessary to protect the interests of Kansas ratepayers. Is there a second?
I
I'll
second
make
the
the
motion.
second.
Go ahead.
Okay, seconded by Commissioner Duffy. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much, Carly.
Thank you.
Commissioners, I believe this concludes all of the matters that were scheduled for our agenda this morning. Unless there are any further matters you wish to discuss or take up, at this time, I would entertain a motion that we adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Take care.
Be well.